it's already rolling, so we can just get straight into it. So, Scratchin the Service, Mo Beats. This is the first podcast in a while. You've been talking about doing this for a minute, so man, I appreciate you coming out.
Of course.
I guess how do we do this?
How about we start with how long have we known each other?
Man, it's been a minute, man. That's
Bro, was that 06 or 07 around that time? When were you coming up there?
Yeah, I would say around then. Yeah,
All right.
yeah, coming from for the radio.
It was
vibes.
before I moved out here. So that's how I know I've known you since like 07, 08.
Yeah, and this was like way before.
Way before everything you're doing. Yeah, way before everything.
So it's kind of a full circle moment right now,
Yes.
like getting reconnected, and then the real estate vibes that convo popped up, and it's just like, oh man, I gotta have you on the podcast so we can just chop it up to give everybody the intro. So my guy Ace is in the building. You know what I'm saying? I guess let me start it at current day, and then we'll kind of rewind a little bit. So let's just say right now, how many properties do you own?
Okay. I just sold one of my single families last week. So, but it was 9 properties, 21 units total, because a majority of them are multi-unit, so they're not single family homes. So I sold off one of my single families last week, so I'm down to 8 and 20 doors, 20 units.
Nice. Okay.
But I did that for a purpose.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
We're getting into commercial space. That's what I'm saying.
Nice.
We're getting into apartment buildings now. So
Okay,
that's the next move.
So let's rewind. So before real estate, what was work and life like pre-real estate? What were you into? What were you doing like work wise?
I did radio, as you know,
Yeah.
for a long time. That's actually where I met DJ Mo Beats.
Yeah.
We met back in 07. Well, I started in 06. I worked at G-Unit Records, Interscope, did some stuff over there. Transitioned over to Shade 45, which is where I met you.
Yep.
Back in like 07, 08. Got a job in radio here in Michigan, one of the local radio stations, which you're aware of. In 09, got hired, moved out here. I have family here, so it was an easy transition for me to move here. I had the radio job lined up, so it made sense. I moved out. It was a solid gig. I did that all the way up until late 2018.
Okay.
So I was there for like 9 years. And funny enough, we met again.
Yeah.
Because I met you in New York, Sirius XM, Shade 45.
Yep.
Then we meet again. You were at JLB. I was right next door at Channel 955.
Same building.
Same building. we maintained the friendship the whole time, all the way, all along. So you know radio life.
Yeah.
We were in the clubs, doing gigs. I mean, on air. So that was kind of the life. And I don't like regret it because I don't really have anything to show for it. But what I have is memories, amazing contacts and connects and people I've met. And long-term friendships were formed. But I feel like I didn't have anything to show for it, success-wise, Yeah. It's just, okay, I was on the radio. That's cool. But what do you have to show for it, And I feel like I didn't have any of that. And, as you get older, I mean, guys, it takes a little longer for us to, get our minds right. I was like, I need to really get my stuff together now. And so I left in late 2018. This is where a little bit of weird stuff happens. So, So, because I didn't get into real estate investing until 2020.
Yeah.
So that little 2-year gap.
So kind of recent. Yeah.
I got involved with the wrong people. Let's just say.
So wait. So let's because even in my mind, I don't know the time frame of this because you're a vet, right?
Yeah, I'm a veteran.
So
we should bring that up. You know what? We can go all the way back.
Yeah, because that's crucial to the whole.
My bad.
The whole story. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you picked up on that. I would have eventually brought it up because of how I got my first property.
Yeah,
But I am a veteran, so obviously served in the military, did my time. I'm a Iraq War veteran, so there are extra benefits with that, which we'll get into later when we start talking about the real estate. But so once I was done with that, that was late 05, early 06.
Okay, so it was kind of like there was that portion.
So we'll
then
give you
it
that
went to
timeline.
radio. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I did 1 semester of college, right, after I got out of the military. They pay for your college. They pay for your everything. And I was studying communications, radio, and broadcasting. It took that 1 semester. I know myself. I was like, if I just meet the right people, connect with the right people, I know how I move, and I'm gonna get in the door. That's all I need is that opportunity. I'll take care of the rest. And that's exactly what happened. So I got an internship at, like I was telling you, G Unit Records. Shout out to Jeremy Bettis. I mean, if he's watching this, I'll tag him on this or something. I owe everything to him. It all started there. And then Dave House eventually and some other guys. But I got my internship at G Unit Records. It took maybe a couple of months, and then I got hired. They actually hired me. So I was doing everything over there, like literally everything. Running the mail, front desk, freaking, you name it. We were going to music videos, assisting with that. I did everything under the sun. And then shout out to Coach PR, another guy who was at G Unit Records. He had a show with DJ Who Kid on Shade 45, G Unit, Saturdays, obviously. And I was listening to that every Saturday. And so he would come up to the G Unit Records office as well. And so once I met him, I knew who he was. I was like, holy shit, Coach PR, blah, blah. And so I introduced myself, and I was like, man, can I intern at, and I'm already working at G Unit Records. I'm like, man, can you get me in? Because I was studying radio. I was like, I want to come up to Shade 45 and, can I come up there, intern, do something? Whatever you need. I don't want no money. I made sure I'm bringing value. I don't care about money. Just get me in there. And he was like, okay, blah, blah, blah. And he made it happen. Like a couple weeks later, now I'm interning at Shade 45. Boom. Then I get hired as a board op because whatever happened to their board op, they're not there anymore.
It's so slowly moving up.
Yes. But I was doing both at the same time, simultaneously. So I maintained the G Unit job and I maintained Shade 45. But that eventually turned into just doing the Shade 45. But what's cool about the Shade 45 was I started board opping and, helping out with all kind of shows. Then I started working with K Slay and just all those guys, even Angela Yee, DJ Envy. I was doing all those shows. But my main show was with DJ Who Kid, Saturdays. Boom. Do that for like 3 years or whatever until 2009, right? Then I moved to Michigan because obviously at that point I had enough of an air check, from all the different shows I've done.
Yeah, exactly.
So I sent it out. I have family here in Michigan. And there was an opening. So I sent out my air check. And, people know each other. It's all about who you know.
Yeah, of course.
So I happen to know some people who knew some people. Boom, I get hired at Channel 955, iHeartRadio. And I had already met you at that point.
Yeah, of course.
So I had already known you. So we meet again over here. So that's 2009. Fast forward to 2018, because that's all I did. I did the radio thing all the way to 2018, late 2018. Then I get involved in a business, let's just say. I will not get into all the details.
No, it's cool.
It's not necessary.
Have to.
But let's just say I got in trouble with the feds.
Okay.
It was a huge fraud case, blah, blah, blah. I'm still here. Obviously not everybody else because, I just put my name on a business for somebody. Let's just put it like that. Some stuff happened. La-di-da. Here we are. So obviously they shut down my bank accounts. Like, that's why it's crazy about, I'm going to push having good credit, protecting your credit a lot because after all that, they shut down all my bank accounts. I had to start from zero. They took all my money. I mean, they shut me down, literally. So I had to start from zero. My family helped me with the court costs or whatever, the lawyer fees, boom. But everything else was on me. So I took a job. I got my CDL license. Nobody knows this because I kept this under wraps. But I knew I had to do something. I'm not just going to lay around. So I got my CDL. It took 2 weeks to get my CDL license, and I was driving a garbage truck. Literally from 2019, because we got raided in 2019. So I was on that business for about a year and a half before we got raided. And then from 2019 all the way to, June of 21. So I was there for about a couple of years.
Okay.
Truck driving, head to the ground, grinded, like saving money, buying properties along the way.
So when you're doing that job and you say saving money and then buying properties along the way, what caused the mindset shift for you to even say, or like, was it like family who was like, you need to start buying property, or like what made
Not
you
even that.
know?
I hit rock bottom.
Okay.
I'm telling you, dude, you don't want to mess with the feds. So they shut everything. I couldn't even open bank account. Mm-hmm. Like my name was on some kind of list. Like,
I guess I mean more so like, how did you know that like buying properties was the way,
Hitting rock bottom.
Uh-huh.
I've always wanted to do real estate.
Okay.
I knew people who did it, but they more did it on the side. Like they owned a couple of properties.
Yeah.
But it was passive income. And so what I really wanted was to create a life. I feel like we all create our own lives. We really could. We have that ability where I can just have my freedom. The most important thing to me was my freedom. Like being able to do what I want, when I want, not have a boss. And so what gives me that? It's having some kind of successful business of some sort. But when you have a lot, most businesses, you have to be present in. Like, name any business. You have to be involved in it in somehow, some kind of way. With real estate, it's more passive in my eyes. So that's what it was. I just wanted that free lifestyle, not having to answer to anybody. That was important to me because I had dealt with that for a long time, with all those different jobs,
So then even with okay, so you knew to go to, real estate in terms of like creating the passive income. But, even the knowledge along the way, were there like books, mentors, podcasts? Like, how did you know like what to even do or like where to start? Or know?
You probably know we have a mutual friend, Ashley Hamilton.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just went on Bigger Pockets. I really just, when you Google real estate investing, I mean that's one of the first things that's going to come up. And me, I'm a video guy, like, so I went to YouTube, and again, Bigger Pockets is just everywhere. But for some reason, I don't know how, but her video came across. Like, she has one of the most viewed podcasts on Bigger Pockets. Of all the other ones, like, hers is one of the most viewed, and I think it's because of her story. So to be honest, low key, and I've told her this, on the phone many times, she's a low key one of the inspirations to get me going. I wanted to do it, but I just needed that push or whatever.
I think it's also like hearing her story, and it's like
that's exactly what it was.
She's from here, and it's like being super relatable. Yeah.
At that time, we're talking about 2019 or whatever. Like, I'm in that low moment where I'm messed up. I just got my CDL. I'm working this truck job. I didn't really like it, but I watched her story, and I'm hearing about a single mom, waitress, only making like less than $25,000 a year, something like that. And with her tax money, her tax return, she got her first property. And I'm like, bro, I saw that. I'm like, I have no fucking excuse not to get going on this.
Because it was real. It was like, okay, I see it.
And not just that. What really did it for me, Bigger Pockets, they're usually from everywhere else except Detroit. So once I saw she was from Detroit, she's local. I'm like, holy shit. I followed her on Instagram. I messaged her. You can verify all this right now. Call her. And I messaged her, hey, I love your story. I'm local as well. I'm from the area. And I was like, I want to talk to you. Let's talk. And she was one of the nicest people I've ever talked to in my life. You know this. You can verify this. But so we maintained DMing each other and talking. And the one benefit I have that most people don't is I'm a veteran. So we have that 0 down payment option that nobody has unless you're a veteran
right there.
Like family can't get it. No, only the veteran himself can get it. So, it took about a year from when I was talking to Ashley or whatever. But in June of 2020, I got my first property, 4-unit, downriver. All my properties are downriver. I won't get specifics, but there's plenty of cities downriver. One of the downriver cities got 4-unit building, and I used my VA loan, no money down, and I paid about $3,000 in closing costs, but that's well worth it. $3,000 closing costs, but no money down. And I got into the biggest possible type property I could get into. 4 units is the max you could for any kind of residential loan. FHA, it don't even matter.
Yeah, 1 to 4.
1 to 4, that's it. So I got the biggest size property I could get, and I'm thankful, that I was able to find that.
So, question in regards to the VA loan. So, what's the specifics in terms of, okay, you get this property, 0% down, and then is it like you have to personally stay in it for a certain amount of time, or like can you get out of that loan and refi and get in? You know what I'm saying? Like, can you use it again, or how does that work?
FHA is kind of similar like that, where they expect you to live in it for a year. Most people don't. Some people do. Some people do, some people don't. So luckily for me, one of the units were vacant.
Okay.
When we bought it, 3 were occupied. 1 was vacant.
Okay.
And so he said, yep, I'm moving into that one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's it. So, you know, I've had it for almost 2 years at this point. So we're good. So, yeah, that's basically it. I gave him the unit number. We're going to be staying in this one, and that's it. That was a wrap, you know? Credit score doesn't have to be too high for the VA loan. Same for FHA. I mean, I think as low as like 580? I could be wrong. I'm speaking of FHA. VA, I think it's 620. Don't quote me on that, but low. It's not crazy high score. It's not hard to maintain a 620, you know, somewhere around that neighborhood. So, obviously, you get better rates with higher.
Yeah, the higher your score is. So, okay, let's say you have this first property. How long until you go into the next one?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me tell you the story.
Okay.
This is where the story gets crazy. So, I bought that first property. I find out that the owner of that property, through the maintenance guy, so they said, if you have any questions, call us. Because, you know, I'm new to this. Call us. We can help you out. You know, when you're a new landlord, you know, you might still want to communicate with the last landlord about, you know, certain things, you know, whatever, any questions you might have. So through the maintenance guy, I found out that the owner, the last owner, was a Vietnam vet. Instantly clicked in my head. I'm like, yo, I need to meet this guy. So I told him, hey, look, give him my number. Boom, 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 whatever. And he's like, yeah. The maintenance guy told me, yeah, he owns about 50 properties. I mean, he's just getting sick and tired of them. He's just kind of he's telling me, dropping gems on me like, oh my God, you should have never told me any of this stuff. So I talked to the guy about a couple of days later, the last landlord, and we clicked. Literally, just like, I don't know what it is. It was during COVID, obviously, so I was like, look, I know it's COVID, you know, you're older, but you want to just meet up for lunch or whatever, it's on me. Like, I was just talking my shit. And we met up, and we clicked. We're like this now, to this day. So I was just talking to him. I was like, look, you know, it was a bit of a hassle. I'm going to be honest. When you're dealing with the FHA, VA, their inspections are tight. You know, it's a pain in the ass dealing with these, you know, types of loans. So he was like, look, I got a lot of properties. I want to get rid of some, you know, and blah, blah, blah. I was like, okay. I was like, let's work something out. I'm just talking to him like, let's work something out. What do you want to do? He was like, as long as his number one thing, as long as we don't got to go through those banks again and the realtors and this and that. I was like, okay. How about some land contracts? Me, you, and our lawyers. That's it. Nobody else involved. He was like, all right. That sounds like a good idea. I mean, and that's where it started. So I was like, why don't you give me a few addresses? I'll check them out, and I'll see which ones I like. And so he gave me about 4 different addresses at first. So I checked them out. I was like, man, I like all of them. Like, for real, I like all of them. And he was like, okay. We worked out prices on all 4. I was like, look, do me a favor. I'll buy all 4 of them if you could do one thing for me. Just give me longer terms. Because most land contracts, usually they want that paid off in like 5 years. And a big down payment. And I'm like, do me a favor. I'm going to take care of all these. Get them off your back. You don't got to deal with these tenants no more. And just give me longer terms. And if you can, no down payment. If you need me to put something down, okay, I'm trying to avoid it. Any money out of my pocket. And the first one, I put a little bit down. Same thing. He gave me 15-year term, which that's almost unheard of with a land contract.
Yeah.
And no interest, by the way.
Man.
Just straight up. We just calculated the numbers. I gave him the price he wanted, though, on all of them. But, yeah, it started like that. And that wasn't that long after the first one. So the first one was June of 2020. I got the next one in October of 2020. And like I said, I got up to 9 properties in less than a year and a half.
Which
up until today, like, you know, and
crazy.
And most of them are multi-unit. And they're all land contracts. The only one under a loan, or a normal loan, a VA loan, is that first one.
Yeah.
But you just got to take action. That's my thing. Like, you got to talk to people, like, and figure out people's stories and figure out, like, some of these landlords are sick and tired of, like, being landlords. I mean, it's good money for sure, but man, it's I don't want to say it's a young man's game. You could get property management, but I'm one of those people. I like control, man. I don't trust people with my money. Like, I got issues with that. Like, so I need to be in control of all the money, all the rents coming in, because I don't want no property management company taking care of my payments and this. I'll take care of all that, you know, and keep all the money. Why not?
So let's just a certain point you mentioned, even when it was you coming up with the option of it being a land contract, was that one of the things that was learned from, like, say, from Bigger Pockets, or like from somebody that you had already like come across? Or because even with stuff like knowing, like, oh, I can do a land contract,
just knowing what it was.
Yeah.
I knew what it was because I've heard it on Bigger Pockets, but I started investigating it on my own. Are there ways to not involve banks and mortgage companies? And land contract kept coming up, where it's just between, you know, the buyer, the seller, and then your lawyers, and that's it. You write up the contract, simple contract. It ain't 100 pages like when you deal with these banks. It's just a simple contract of, here's the seller, here's the buyer, here's the price, here's the monthly amount, here's the down payment if you're going to do any, here's the interest if you do any, and that's it. I mean, it's straightforward like that.
Yeah, so the VA loan and land contract seem to be like some of your best friends in this real estate journey, because it's like,
it's my only friends.
It's like
that's it.
That's like a cheat code, because the way that you scaled it in such a short time is like crazy, because you didn't have to necessarily go through the banks that
It's
much.
because of the banks. I didn't have to deal with the banks. But you see how quickly I move. If I'm dealing with banks, I'd probably be at like 4 properties right now or something. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. But it's just when you get rid of the nonsense of the banks. Now they're all just about risk. Like, they're worried. Everything, you know, everything's all risk for them. So I'm dealing with a Vietnam vet. Man, we took the ultimate risks. You know, I was in Iraq, so he understood me. I understood him. I was like, look, handshake deal. We signed on it. That's it. Land contract, smooth, easy. No dealing with all this extra nonsense.
So let's just say if somebody's trying to get their first property and they aren't a vet, what would, in your mind, a strategy be for this person who's trying to get their first investment property? How should they go about it? I know there's a lot of ways. It's like,
look. I'm going to be honest with you, and it's been said before. I'm not saying anything new. I'm sure you've heard this. Your best bet, if you're not a veteran, is FHA loan, multi-unit property, up to 4 units. Don't get a single-family home. Why are you going to get a single-family home?
Explain why they shouldn't, from in your point of view.
You could if you don't want to live with people, but if you're trying to get into real estate investing, then you house hack. You just get a duplex, right? 2 unit, 3 unit. Something like me, maybe a 4 unit. They're out there. Live in one, rent out the rest. They're going to cover the mortgage, and you're going to have some cash flow left over depending on your market. Out here in Detroit or Metro Detroit, you are definitely going to be cash flowing. Maybe not in other markets, but out here, man, this is the cash flow king city. I'm serious. No city comes close. And I've seen it because I have a sister who lives in Charlotte. I got family in New York, family all over. And I always look at those different markets. Nothing comes close to Detroit. Yeah. Nothing.
So
with cash flow.
Okay. So pretty much new investors or somebody looking to get into it, say you use the FHA, you get either
it's only 3% down or 3.5% down.
Yeah, so you get anywhere from a 2 to 4 unit property.
Exactly.
Put that 3 or 3.5% down, stay in 1 unit.
Think about it. You could pull out your calculator. 3.5% down essentially is $3,500 for every 100,000. So call it $7,000. If you find like a little $200,000 property, maybe it's a 3 unit. Like, I'm just giving you the numbers.
Yeah,
like
rough numbers.
I don't think it's that difficult. I think people need more discipline just to save that money, save that little down payment. And if you're a veteran, obviously, no brainer, VA loan. And by the way, I could do another VA loan. I'm planning on doing another VA loan.
Okay.
I could do another one. I mean, I haven't because I'm dealing with these land contracts. I'm still buying them. But once that's over, once I'm done with him, I'm going to do another VA loan. And I'm working on some commercial stuff right now, which I'm not going to speak about because I'm one of those people, I like once it's done. But believe it or not, I am currently working on an 8 to 16 unit apartment building as we speak. So we're making moves, bro.
Okay.
You'll be one of the first to know about it. Trust me.
You definitely scaled super, super fast.
Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to think what other points. I feel like you definitely.
Now, I'm making it sound easy. Each property had work. I mean, I had to do work on, not necessarily renovation wise, but we were dealing with COVID. I had some non-paying tenants, but I saw the upside. I knew all this was going to come to an end, this whole COVID mess. And once the eviction moratorium was up, we were able to evict certain people that weren't paying, and now we're cash flowing, bro. We're in the green now.
Another thing that I just thought about when you mentioned the tenants. So I know from previous conversation is where you are only dealing with Section 8, right?
Right now, that's all I deal with.
Okay, and then I guess can you explain why or what's the benefits of doing that?
So for me, Section 8 always had a bad reputation, right? We always hear about Section 8. They destroy your properties, this, that, and the third. And you just you begin to believe that. But I inherited, so my first 4 unit, I inherited 2 Section 8 tenants. So by default, I had to work with Section 8. I didn't have a choice. I walked into it with 2 Section 8 tenants. So what I started to notice is Section 8 was paying during the pandemic the whole time. But the non-Section 8 tenants were the ones not paying. They were the ones like not paying. So I was like, okay, lesson learned. Like, especially, you know, downriver, it's more lower income housing and properties. So I'm like, okay, if I'm dealing with certain areas, you know, to hedge my bets and hedge my money, I'm just going to deal with Section 8. Guaranteed money. For me, it's just the guaranteed money. That's why you get into this. As a landlord, you want to make sure your rent's coming in every month. That's it. That's the most important thing. So then you could pay off, you know, your taxes, insurance, whatever, mortgage. So if you're not getting that money, guess what? The different cities I was dealing with, they still wanted their taxes. They didn't give me a break on that.
Yeah.
The insurance companies, same thing. You know, luckily I was dealing with this old guy, so he wasn't killing me on certain payments on certain properties that weren't paying, so he wasn't killing me on that. But if it was a bank, they'd still want their money too, that mortgage payment. So, you know, for me, it's just, what's the guarantee? Like, I could deal with a little headache, you know, if that money is right. So there it is. The main reason is the guaranteed money. There's no other reason I need besides that, dealing with Section 8. It's the guaranteed money. That's it.
So what's some of the specifics in like how, so say if someone has a property or multiple properties, how you can basically make sure you qualify for Section 8? Like just because you have
everybody's
a house.
qualified.
So, okay. So, I guess in terms of the property being up to code or certain standards,
okay.
What's the specifics with that? Like just because you own a house.
Yeah. So anybody can qualify for Section 8. Let me put that out there.
Okay.
But you are their inspections are a little more strict, which is okay. Again, I could deal with a little headache for the guaranteed money. So they expect, and really all they're looking for, it's going to be better for you. Your property is going to end up being better. So they just want to make sure it's clean, safe, livable. You know, they're not like, dinging you for every little thing, you know, but, you know, they expect it to be livable. Would you move into it? Ask yourself that. Would you move into your property? So yeah, if you would, then you're probably going to pass the inspection. So it's basic stuff. Make sure all the outlets work. Make sure the windows open and close. It is not like people act like it's some crazy inspections. Like they just expect it to be livable, comfortable, safe. And that's it, you know? And any house can qualify. So yeah.
Okay. So let's see. So we covered.
We need look, if people still want to think Section 8 is bad and this and that, and by the way, one of the other things is that I've learned, you know, now that I've been doing this like a couple of years, the tenant, that whole, they'll destroy your property and this and that, they will lose their voucher. The tenant that's living in your property, if they destroy your property, they're going to lose that free money for the housing.
So, it's beneficial for them to not mess things up. Because otherwise...
don't get me wrong. There's going to be wear and tear. That's normal. Yeah. But I'm talking about they're not, because people talk about they're destroying your property on purpose. They will lose their voucher. And guess what? Section 8 is going to pay for, reimbursing whatever it is. So you're going to be good regardless. So there's no reason to fear Section 8, guys. Straight up.
Man, I'm trying to think. We
obviously you're not going to do Section 8 in Birmingham. You've got a property in Birmingham.
It's a little different. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, put it like this. That's another thing. If you want cash flow every month and you're not worried about appreciation, which is me, I don't care so much about appreciation, you know, which is in 10, 20 years or whatever. I care about what brings me the most money every month consistently. You have to look at certain areas, lower income areas, like, and they just bring in the most cash flow because the monthly payments, the mortgages, are going to be so much cheaper than some of these more expensive areas, you know. And the rents, when you deal with Section 8, they give you market rent. Like, you get pretty high rents. Talk to Ashley. She loves Section 8 now. She just started messing with Section 8. And she's like, oh, my God, they're paying $1,300 for a 3-bedroom. Like, yeah.
And I feel like with Section 8, wouldn't you have tenants in there, like, a little bit longer? In terms of, like, you know that they'll be here, like, I don't know, whether it's a year or a couple years, like, you know, especially if you have a nice property. Yes. Like, it'll attract people that
a lot of times they don't want to leave.
Okay.
Once they get settled in, they don't want to leave, especially if they like the property or like your unit or whatever. Like, I'll say about 30 30-40% of my tenants are older folks, older ladies. Like, you know, they're on Social Security, disability, and whatever, and then they get Section 8 vouchers. They ain't going nowhere. Yeah. I've had tenants, you know, even before me, they were still with the last landlord for years. So I just inherited some of them, and they're not going nowhere. And those are the best kind of tenants. The ones, you know, they're going to be chilling for a long time. They're not going anywhere. You just renew that lease every year. That's it.
Okay. Man, I feel like we covered the majority of everything that I wanted to in this conversation. But I think one thing is what resources, whether it be books, certain interviews, certain podcasts, any kind of resources for somebody who's trying to get on this journey of financial independence and real estate. And
if it's specific to real estate investing, I would encourage everybody to get on Bigger Pockets YouTube channel. Look up Ashley Hamilton. This is if you just need a little inspiration.
Yeah.
Look up Ashley Hamilton's interview. You said it inspired you.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't think you need a better story than hers. So Bigger Pockets is always a great resource. They have I haven't used their community board, you know, messaging board, but you know, you can get on that and it's people from all over the country. So they might be in your area. You could just, you know, ask questions and, you know, I've never done that. I'm the type to watch videos, try to learn, and just go.
Like, yeah, you out in the streets, you finding people like, hey, you got some cribs? All right, let me get that.
Hey, man, you gotta. I'm in it to win it, bro.
Yeah.
Life is a game. I'm just in it to win it.
That's real. So, man, where can everybody find you at on social media? Where you at? What's your handle?
I'm not on. I deleted all my social medias except Instagram. That's the only one I work with.
What's your IG?
It's Ace Motivation. Pretty simple. Ace Motivation. You can follow me there. Ask me questions there. I've had people actually, you've tagged me on a couple things in the past, and then boom, they'll hit me up, and so yeah, that's the best place to find me.
Okay, there it is.
Cool.
Scratchin' Terrorist Podcast, Mo Beats. Ace, appreciate you, man.
My dog.
Yes, easy.